Hi everyone, Kelt here. As many of you know, Lady Colin Campbell has put up a petition inviting Prince Harry to request that the Queen put his titles into abeyance. Abeyance is basically a temporary hold so that he could resume his title at a later date should his situation change. She has worded it excellently. I love Lady Colin and I love her videos. She's absolutely brilliant. I've said before, and I believe now totally, that Harry is being gaslighted and is a perfect candidate for this. Stockholm Syndrome is another word to Google. I went into it in a previous video a few years ago, but you can research this yourself. I think that both apply to Harry. But again, he's still responsible for his actions. By admitting so much lately, especially regarding his use of drink and drugs to numb his pain, Harry's risking digging himself a deeper hole, because if he was using drugs while he was in the military, then that is another whole can of worms. Having accused the royal family of total neglect and blaming them for everything wrong in his life, he has made himself so very unpopular right now. It's likely, as others have said, that he has been primed by his wife to talk about his mental health and drink and drug taking, which will be used against him. All these things can be used against him when or if she eventually divorces him. On the subject of his wife, answering many of your messages, yes, I did notice that her baby bump has totally disappeared in the latest still in the video, where she has on black jeans and a t-shirt. It's been said that this was pre-recorded before she was pregnant, but I think that it possibly wasn't, and that she just doesn't bother to wear her bump the rest of the time. And we know this because of when she was in New York at her baby shower. She'd obviously got fed up with wearing the bump during the day, because from being quite heavily pregnant, she goes out in the evening with a pair of jeans on, flat stomach, which she tries to hide with her handbag. Harry's not innocent. He's showing so much hypocrisy in the things he's saying, but this is what happens when you're being manipulated and controlled by someone else, a very clever actress, who now Harry does seem to be mimicking, maybe even unconsciously. And he's also totally taken in by his wife's tears and saying that she didn't want to wake him up because she was crying in her pillow. Rubbish. Go into another room, one of the many dozens of rooms you have, crying in the pillow right beside him. Oh yes, she knew full well that she would wake him up, and he is so taken in. Now Harry has been told to move to Zimbabwe if he doesn't like or understand the First Amendment. Yes, I agree, he should. Maybe he should have married Chelsea and lived in Zimbabwe, but Chelsea, I think, had a narrow escape, although the romantic part of me would still love to see them together. Harry has gone too far. Those who didn't take much notice of them in the news and had no real opinion on them are now admitting that it has become very embarrassing. Prince William's speaking out against Martin Bashir of the BBC is most definitely a distraction, but not the one that many think it is. I don't think it's a distraction from Harry, even though it's quite handy at the moment, but other things which are going on, which will be evident before long. He talks of how Martin Bashir fed Diana with misinformation which added to her paranoia and contributed to her agreeing to the interview with him. I've seen recently photographs have been put out where Martin Bashir is trying to get sympathy and saying that they were friendly with Diana and she attended the hospital when his wife gave birth, after his wife gave birth. He also puts out a personal letter to him which seems very friendly and personable, but doesn't really mean anything because Diana sent many letters to many people and was very personable with everyone. But whether Martin Bashir is trying to get sympathy and is not 100% honest in what he's saying, all I see is a load of passing the buck with everyone. Harry does, William does it. There's just no end to it. No one seems to have the guts to say things as they are without blaming and pointing the finger to yet another person, another scapegoat, another fall guy. I've received an email from a viewer I'm going to read it, as some parts of it I think could sum up how a lot of us feel, in part at least, and it's definitely food for thought. I quote, "Clearly, the overwhelming sentiment is that just Harry be stripped of his titles, and by that action his wife stripped of hers as well. However, the diversion is this new announcement finding that the interview conducted in 1995 by Martin Bashir of the BBC with Diana, Princess of Wales, that was somehow obtained with documents that amounted to coercion, is deeply troubling. But 26 years on the diversion itself is troubling. I may be alone in my belief, but the feelings that Diana expressed were still her feelings, regardless of any shenanigans between the BBC and her brother to get her to agree the interview." She goes on, and I'm still quoting, "As for Harry, he is perhaps the world's most hypocritical person. His various deals with Netflix of cashing in on Diana's memory, one after another. Is Harry seriously that dumb that he doesn't see how entirely foolish he looks? As for Prince William, I was surprised that he didn't allow the palace to make its usual statement in response to the rare press event that warrants an official response from said palace. I understand that William is a son who is wounded by his parents' dysfunctional marriage, but he has once again blamed the press for something that was the fault of a member of his family, in this case Prince Charles. Prince William said, the interview was a major contribution to making my parents' relationship worse. He is shooting the wrong person. William's parents' relationship was over before it officially began, as Charles carried on his affair with Camilla during his engagement to Diana. Goes on to talk about the way that Diana was treated by Prince Charles and the inconsistencies of William's protests against privacy in the press, and various incidents which she refers to where he comes across as hypocritical. This reader admitted that she was very disheartened with everything because people do not speak out, and there is so much manipulation in all of this. She says, and I quote, "I am feeling angry at the royal family. Perhaps because Diana's 60th birthday is approaching, there are quite a number of videos about her having nothing to do with Martin Bashir. The way that Diana was led to the slaughter by Prince Charles in the royal family is atrocious. I am aware that Diana was not a saint and that she used the press, but she was a just-turned 20-year-old when she married, and she was faced with a very cold and uncaring Queen Elizabeth II for a mother-in-law, and obviously a husband who was already cheating on her. In watching some of the footage of Diana with the crowds and with the individuals at the various charities that she supported, I see her gain the tremendous and beyond description outpouring of love for Diana. She had a magnetism that is unparalleled by anyone before or after her. Watching her hold the hands of patients with leprosy is amazing, and honestly, I don't even know whether I could do it. Diana broke barriers, and there is nobody who approaches her unique composure of both calm and caring. Diana's compassion far outweighs any of her drawbacks. Nobody is perfect. Diana brought not only joy to people, but much more importantly, she brought notoriety to medical causes that would otherwise not have been given support. Going back over the evidence of what was done to the beautiful young aristocrat Diana, who would otherwise have had the world at her feet, I am at the moment, this person says, utterly reviled by Charles and the Queen. They really do consider themselves above not only the law but above everyone, period. They will walk all over anyone if it suits their purposes." And that, again, was from a viewer from my channel. As in a previous video that I did, things are not what they seem, and it is most definitely a distraction, this Prince William thing, but there is so much more to it, and I think that the more that comes out soon, the more pieces will fit, and many people will be probably very disappointed. The recent photographs are troubling. Harry has his hands crossed and his eyes closed and is looking more and more like the older video of where his wife was preaching to students, with the Hollywood trick of a Vaseline-smeared camera lens to create an ethereal look as she creates her saintly pose with arms crossed. Harry is so influenced and controlled that he doesn't seem to see that he has become a puppet for his wife's schemes, and I think he doesn't seem very well. People have said that they think he's heading for a breakdown. I think maybe they're right. The petition that Lady C has set up goes as follows, and I quote, "The purpose is to invite Prince Harry to voluntarily ask the Queen to put his royal style, titles and rank into abeyance, thereby freeing him from the diplomatic, political and constitutional constraints that are an inevitable part of royal rank, and further freeing him from the constitutional conflicts which his beliefs are creating, with all their implications at home and abroad, in particular in the United Kingdom and the United States of America, where his articulated beliefs are in open conflict with the accepted tenets of both the United Kingdom and American constitutions. As a purely private citizen with no royal rank, style or title, he will be able to indulge his personal beliefs, as is the right of all private citizens, without the consequential possibility of damaging the institution of the monarchy or relations between friendly powers, and will be free to articulate beliefs, no matter how objectionable, without the fallout that is otherwise inevitable, as long as he possesses royal status. His invitation to the sovereign being of his own accord, which will resolve conflicts that would otherwise be inevitable, and will permit him to enjoy the credit of having put both national and international interests above his own personal ones in the process, gaining him respect that he otherwise would not enjoy. I think it would be the best thing that he could do. Let me have your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one. The link to this is in my description. Bye. Please subscribe, ding my bell for more alerts for more videos, like if you liked it, and share. Bye.